tying up my take on the San Juan Worm. Everybody's got a different way of tying those, and you look on YouTube and there's about 15, 16 different ways that people tie them up. You can make it complicated or you can make it uncomplicated, and I'm more the uncomplicated type. Definitely I'm using a size 12 barbless hook. Barbless makes it easier to do this. This is Matchkix hook, size 12, putting a bead on it. The bead size, I'm not quite sure what bead size this is. Basically I get these beads from Hobby Lobby in the metalworking section where all the little parts is, where people who make their own necklaces and jewelry and stuff like that. These come in three rows. It's 3 nylon strings with these little beads attached to them. And you get for like regular prices like $3.99. And I usually, when I see them 50% off on the jewelry craft stuff, I usually buy a pack or two. And these is the second to smallest size. There's one smaller than this, but this is the second to smallest size they got. And these fit perfect on these little on these little size 12 hooks. As you can see, the bead even it leaves the eyelet open right there, which is really nice. So those work pretty good. So I'm gonna take a thread base and I'm gonna just put about 1/8 of an inch of thread on it right there. I'm not gonna well, that's more of almost like, I guess that's more like almost 1/4 of an inch, almost 1/4 of an inch of thread base on it. And the only thing that's going to serve is the have something to tie the string to. And I usually take just a little bit of hardener. I use something like liquid nails or something like that. Just put a little dab on it right there. Just something to help hold that thread to the hook base. Once I get that on there, I go ahead and do a couple wraps right there at the end, just to keep the bead on the eyelet while I'm working. Gonna whip finish it. You're pretty much through it right there. Make sure that's dry. Yeah, that's dry. Okay, now to put the worm on. I find a piece that looks wormy, that has a little bend in it like that, and that's where we're going to put the hook at. I've seen people use dubbing and stuff for these. I don't do that. I don't find you have to do that. I basically just take it and stick it in it and run it inside the tube body of the worm, just like you do it, just like how you would bait a real worm if you were just running up the worm up the hook. I'm sure everybody's done that. Yeah, and I'm just pushing it. I'm just working it up on the hook. Taking my time, getting there up on the hook shank. Sometimes it's little small rubber worms, the little small like I got right here. Sometimes it can be a little challenging to get it worked up on the body of the hook. But stay with it and it'll work. All right, so that's what I'm going for right there. Now I'm gonna put her back on the vise. Man, I'm breaking a sweat out here. It's freaking 78 degrees humidity out here today. My beautiful winter's gone. All right, so I'm gonna put 2 wraps over the worm. If I can get to hold it still. I'm not tightening down yet, just 2 wraps to hold it in place, 2 behind it. All right, so there we go. I'm gonna put 2 more right here. 2 wraps over it, 2 wraps behind it. There we go. All right, 2 wraps right here, 2 wraps over it, 2 wraps behind it. All right, that's pretty much it. That thread's got a base, and it's not cutting into the worm, which is pretty much the hardest part of tying these. Is you don't want your thread to cut through the rubber worm. So we're going to cut that off right there. We're going to take some of the liquid nail. Dab it right there on that thread. And that's it, man. That's my version of the San Juan Worm. It's really long in the back, so I think what I do is I think I'll nip that down a little bit if I can pick it up with my nubby ass fingers. Nip it, cut it about right there. Yeah, there we go. So that's it. Very easy to tie. And that last video I posted where I caught them bluegills feeding on those worms falling out the tree. I probably off one of the red ones like this, one of the dark red ones, a little bit thicker than the pink. I know doggone well I caught 60 bluegills on that one worm. So it is a durable tie. Anyway, tie some up and catch you some panfish with them.